My wife said she needed a break, but a week later I learned the truth. I never thought I'd be the guy telling a story like this. You always hear about it happening to someone else, some poor bastard on the news or in the break room at work, mumbling into his coffee. But you never think it'll be you. My name is Mark. I am 42 years old. I've been married to Emily for 12 years. We met when I was 29 and she was 25. Back then, I thought she was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Not just beautiful, she had that spark, you know. The kind of energy that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. She could walk into a grocery store in sweatpants and somehow turn heads. We built our life together. We bought a small 3-bedroom house in the suburbs of Cleveland. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. We had Sunday pancake mornings, a little vegetable garden out back, and a standing date night every Friday. We didn't have kids mostly because life just kept moving, and we never made the leap. But we had each other. Or at least I thought we did. About 2 months ago, I started noticing something different. Emily wasn't as present. She'd spend more time scrolling on her phone at night. She started working late more often, saying things like, "We were just swamped at the office." And the way she smiled at me, it wasn't gone, but it was dimmer. I brushed it off at first. Everyone has off days, right? I figured maybe she was stressed from work. Maybe she just needed some space. I told myself it was nothing. Then came the night that changed everything. It was a Thursday. I had just finished cleaning up after dinner spaghetti and garlic bread, one of her favorites. She was sitting at the table, kind of fiddling with her wine glass, not making eye contact. "Mark," she said softly, "we need to talk." Those 4 words hit like a punch to the gut. She took a deep breath and said, "I think I need a break from us." I just stared at her. "A break? What does that even mean?" "I don't know exactly," she said, looking down at her hands. I feel like I've lost myself. I need time to think, to figure out what I want." I tried to keep my voice calm, but my chest was tight. "And you can do that while we read together?" "It is not like that," she said quickly. "I love you, Mark. I am not saying it is over. I just need space, a week or 2, maybe stay with my sister, clear my head." I didn't know what to say. I felt like the floor had just dropped out from under me. But she was sitting there, looking so sincere, so conflicted, that I said, "Okay, if you think that's what you need." She left the next day with a suitcase and a bag of her things. I hugged her goodbye at the door and she whispered, "I'll call you soon." The first couple of days were weird. The house felt too quiet. I kept glancing at my phone, waiting for her to text. She did short little messages. "Hope your day is going okay." Or "thinking about you." But no real conversations. By day 3, I started to feel uneasy. Something about it didn't sit right. I mean, she could have found herself while still sleeping in our bed. Why leave? I talked to my friend Dave about it. Dave has been divorced for 5 years, and he has got that bitter wisdom guys get after they've been burned. "Mark," he said over a beer at O'Malley's, "no one just takes a break for no reason. If she wanted to work on the marriage, she'd work on it with you. A break means something else." "What are you saying?" I asked. "I am saying," he said slowly, "she might be seeing someone, or thinking about it." I hated that thought. It made my stomach turn. Am I? No way. She wasn't like that. She was loyal, honest. But still, the seed was planted. By day 6, I couldn't take it anymore. I decided to check in, not like a stalker, but just to ease my mind. I knew her sister lived about 20 minutes away. So after work, I drove by. Her sister's car was in the driveway. Emily's wasn't. I sat there for a minute, telling myself maybe she was out running errands. But something in my gut told me to keep going. I thought about where else she might be. And then, stupidly, I remembered a place, a little coffee shop downtown we used to go to when we first dated. She loved it. I drove there, and as I pulled into the parking lot, my chest tightened. There she was, sitting at an outside table, laughing. Across from her was a man I'd never seen before. Tall, dark hair, wearing a button-down shirt. He leaned toward her, smiling in that way guys do when they're trying to impress a woman. And she had that look. The spark I hadn't seen in months. I sat in my truck, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. My ears were ringing. I wanted to storm over there, demand an explanation, make a scene. But I didn't. I just watched for a moment, feeling something inside me break. She reached across the table and touched his hand. And that was it. I knew. I didn't confront her right then. I drove home numb. That night she texted me, "Hope you're okay. I am still figuring things out." Figuring things out. Right. The next day, I called her. "Emily, we need to talk." She hesitated, then agreed to meet at the house. When she came in, she looked different. Not guilty exactly. Just distant. I didn't waste time. I saw you yesterday at that coffee shop with him. Her face went pale. Mark, that's not what you think. It's exactly what I think, I said, my voice shaking. You asked for a break so you could see him. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't plan for it to happen. I just met him at work. We started talking. I was confused. I needed to know if... She trailed off. If what? I snapped. If you could replace me? Silence. That was my answer. We talked, if you can call it that, for another 20 minutes. She kept saying she was sorry, that she didn't mean to hurt me, that she still cared about me. But all I could hear was the sound of 12 years cracking apart. By the time she left, we both knew it was over. It's been 3 weeks now. The papers aren't filed yet, but they will be. The nights are still quiet, but now it's a different kind of quiet. Not the kind that aches with missing someone. The kind that comes after a storm, when the wreckage is just there, and you're really left to figure out what to do next. I've replayed that moment in the coffee shop in my head 1,000 times. The way she smiled at him. The way she touched his hand. I think maybe I always will. People say time heals everything. I don't know if that's true. But I know one thing: next time someone says they need a break, I'll know exactly what it means.